Hello, hello. It's Amy Horn, Coping with Life Therapy. Today, I want to help you learn how to cope with life if you have gut issues. So, among being a neuropsychotherapist, I also am a certified integrative supplemental care um, provider. And so, I really wanted to figure out what would help my mental health patients with gut, brain, and mental health connection. So they're all connected. If your gut's not working well, neither is your brain and neither is your mental health. They all affect each other. So I met with a nutritionist personally and kind of wanted to give y'all a little bit of insight. So, some of the women that are getting up in age and having gut issues, this is for you. Men who are getting up in age and having gut issues, this is for you. Anyone who feels like they're full before they even eat and they feel like they've got this little pudge going on in the tummy area that just never seems to go away, this is for you guys, right? So everybody has a different need for their body. And there are different things that your body may be sensitive to. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that today. So this is called the low FODMAP diet for beginners. And it's got a nice 7-day program where you literally do all of these low FODMAP foods for a whole 7 days to see what your body does. See if you see anything different, and then you can slowly put things back in. Let's talk about what low FODMAP means. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you because it's a lot of big words, and I don't have all this memorized in my brain because I have enough in my brain to go through. So the acronym for FOD, FOD, is fermentable oligosaccharides and disaccharides. Am I pronouncing those correctly? I don't know. I don't even care. Because all of you are thinking the same when you read these words. You're like, what? Let's break it down. So, fermentation is the process of bacteria leaving the intestines and how it breaks down carbohydrates. So people are like, oh, don't eat carbs, cut carbs out. Okay, typically that means your body isn't breaking down carbohydrates correctly. So maybe your gut needs to be renewed, right? And so that's what low FODMAP would do for you. It would kind of renew your ability. So it produces carbon dioxide gas, hydrogen and or methane gas in the colon. It gets trapped, it gets stuck, and it's not releasing appropriately. I can tell you there are some people that are so gassy, it's insane. And there are other people that hardly ever have gas. If you don't have gas often and you're feeling very good and healthy, that means you don't have an issue with this. But if you struggle with being super gassy or you have a lot of gas pain, but nothing leaving the body, this might be what you need. Okay, so listen up. All right, the next part that you get from that fermentation issue is symptoms of bloating, abdominal pain, constipation, and or diarrhea, right? So some people are like, gosh, well, I don't get constipation. You might get diarrhea. If you have any of these symptoms, it could be a problem with fermentation. Keep listening. So the second one, the oligosaccharides, however it's pronounced. I wish they had a breakdown of that for me. Have no idea. We'll work on that together. Basically, what this means is the short chain carbohydrates that turn into sugars, right? So the human body doesn't produce enzymes that fully break down the types of sugars that those carbohydrates are turning into. So it leaves, plenty of bacteria in the intestines to ferment, Too much causes gas, pain, and other symptoms. So again, your body may not break down the sugars that the carbohydrates turn into, right? So that's what that part is. And there's two categories, and those are wheat, rye, onion, and garlic sensitivities: lentils, beans, chickpeas, and soybeans. So if you're a person that eats Chinese food and your tummy hurts after, or you eat beans and you get super gassy, lentils, you get super gassy, or you have gas pains, this might be for you, right? And then the third one, disaccharides, is indicating there's two types of sugars. Lactose comes from dairy, and just your regular sugars that your body may not break down. So lactase, lactose. So any cow's milk, sheep milk, sometimes goats, but usually goat's milk isn't that bad for you. Your cheeses, the soft cheeses, yogurt, and ice cream, these things will cause you to feel bloated, have a lot of gas pain. You'll have that extra tummy that never seems to go away. This means you may be sensitive to cheeses and dairy and things of that nature. So the FODMAP may be for you, right? So monosaccharides is the fructose, glucose. You hear a lot about that, which causes diabetes and messes with your digestive tract, usually causes diarrhea or constipation. And if you have fructose in high amounts, which is found in like honey, mango, high fructose corn syrup, those things may not agree with you. So, you think honey's healthy for me. Not if you need a low FODMAP diet. Maple syrup would actually be better for you. So I want you all to think about what this means. So let's talk about some low FODMAP foods. I want to give you this information. So dairy and protein, low on the FODMAP. All meats and seafood, beef, fish, and poultry, almond milk, coconut, yogurt, eggs, hard cheeses, including cheddar, Colby, feta, mozzarella, Parmesan, and Swiss, lactose-free dairy products, lactose-free kefir, that's Kefir, rice milk, tempeh, tofu, soft or firm, but not silken. So these are low FODMAP. Now, I noticed with my own personal experience, goat cheese works great for me. I do well on goat cheese, and I'll stick with that. And we're going to talk about some of the other sensitivities that could happen with the low FODMAP that you need to be aware of as well. So fruits on the low FODMAP would be blueberries, cantaloupe, clementines, cranberries, grapes, honeydew melons, kiwi fruit, oranges, papayas, pineapple, raspberries, rhubarb, and strawberries. Now, there's a low FODMAP app that you can download on your phone. And if they're in the green, any food in the green, you can eat with a low FODMAP, and it helps with rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation issues. So anybody that has a lot of inflammation from autoimmune disorders, a low FODMAP diet is great for you. And it doesn't mean you cut other foods out. It just means you don't have them as often. Okay. So let's look at vegetables on a low FODMAP diet. You've got bamboo shoots, bean sprouts, carrots, chives, collard greens, cucumbers, eggplant, fennel leaves, kale, lettuce, all kinds, parsnips, potatoes, pickles, radishes, red bell pepper, spinach, summer squash, tomatoes, winter squash, spaghetti squash, Swiss chard, and zucchini. Now, let me be clear. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, nightshades are not your friend. So some of the nightshades would be things like the spinaches, the lettuces, any of those leafy vegetables other than kale. Eggplant is a nightshade. Tomatoes are a nightshade. There's a Roma tomato that you can have in smaller proportions, but you need to learn what that looks like. The FODMAP app, idiot proofed it for me. Anything green I can have. If it's, it'll say cucumber and it'll be a green color. That means I can eat it. It might be raspberries and it's an orange or a red. Orange means not much of it should be taken. Red means leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Rare occasion at best. Let's talk about grains and starches. So corn chips, corn tortillas, those are not going to work if you have colitis or if you have Crohn's disease. So you know to stay away from those already, right? Gluten-free white bread, y'all, I'm going to just tell you right now, if you are a gluten-free human, sourdough bread helps. And if you eat sourdough bread and you're like, it doesn't work for me, then don't do it, right? You can go with those gluten-free options. The cauliflower for the low FODMAP is an orange, so you can have it, but not all the time, right? So you got to be careful about that. Then you've got grits, pasta made from corn. Again, if you have diverticulitis, if you have Crohn's disease, these may not be your friends. Polenta, popcorn, diverticulitis, that would be a no. Crohn's disease, that would be a no. Popcorn is not your friend. Quinoa, again, if you've got diverticulitis, follow what your doctor says for you. Rice, any variety, and rice crackers. Let's talk about pulses and nuts. So almond butter, if you have psoriasis, eczema, skin conditions, autoimmune, almond butter may not be your friend. If I do almonds, cashews, walnuts, or any of those type of nuts, I get psoriasis or eczema rashes. So if you have issues with psoriasis or eczema, almond butter may not be your choice. Chia seeds, flax seeds may not be your choice. Peanuts, peanut butter may not be your choice. Pumpkin seeds, typically I do okay with pumpkin seeds, but typically seeds are not going to work for most people with diverticulitis, Crohn's, colitis, or autoimmune. So you got to test the waters and see how you do. But if your doctor for diverticulitis says no seeds, right? No seed oils, no seeds. Sunflower seeds, again, there's another option. So when I'm looking for me personally at the pulses and the nuts, I can't do any of those. So every dessert that says that you can use these particular items, I can't do. Most of your diverticulitis people can't do it. Most of your Crohn's, colitis people can't do those. So the pulses and the nuts are usually going to be a no for most people with the issues that I mentioned. Pantry, things that go in your pantry. So avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, those are usually going to be okay. Brown rice syrup, butter. I like to use ghee or tallow instead of butter, but butter is okay as long as it's the most clean version of butter. So Irish butter is really, really good if you're going to do butter. If it's not Irish butter, I would go with ghee or I would go with tallow. Cocoa powder, dark chocolate, ginger root, mayonnaise, I don't do it all. If you have to have it, that's okay, but do it in moderation, please. Mayo has other things in it that won't be good for you. Mustard, same thing. Be cautious with the type of mustard that you're choosing. It's very important you get a healthier version of the mustard. Yucca, YUKA app will help you with the rating system 0 to 100. And it will tell you what is a healthier version of anything you're trying to purchase. So continuing, olives, raw sugar. Y'all, raw sugar is best. If you're going to do sugar, just do raw sugar. Do the brown sugar. Do the cleanest version of sugar you can do. Soy sauce. I stay away from soy sauce because it does not agree with my body. Low FODMAP, says soy sauce, but most people have an issue with soy sauce and don't realize it. So, soy sauce, you want to be very mindful. If you eat Chinese food, if you eat Japanese food, if you eat Asian dishes with soy and you feel bad after, soy sauce is not your friend. Stay away from it. And then stevia. It says stevia. I don't personally want to do stevia. I personally will go with raw sugar. It's just the best bet. Or maple syrup. Maple syrup, if it is pure maple syrup with nothing else in it, that is my choice of sweetener. So when I use my coffee, I put maple syrup in my coffee, not honey, not stevia, none of those artificial sweeteners, pure maple syrup. And if you buy the Vermont brand of maple syrup, you're getting the best brand. Go for it. Beverages, black coffee, y'all, there is no way this Southern woman is going to have black coffee without something in it. I'll do maple syrup. And guess what? The creamer that I like the best is Chobani, Chobani. They have the cleanest ingredients of all of the creamers because I noticed all the other creamers had vegetable oil in them, sunflower oil in them, seed oils in them, a lot of very bad stuff. So Chobani was the cleanest version of creamer. Now my husband won't use those. He uses real heavy cream in his. Now, if you have lactose intolerance, almond milk, coconut milk are great if you can do it. I can't do almond. I do coconut. I do MCT oil. So those are things that I can use and you may be able to use as well in your black coffee. So teas that are low FODMAP would be black, green, or white tea. Some herbal teas are good, ginger tea, peppermint tea. And again, if you go to the FODMAP app, it will tell you what teas are in the green, orange, or red. Green means go, you can have it. Orange means not so much of it. And red means stay away if you can. Okay, cranberry juice is a beverage that's on the low FODMAP. Gin, vodka, whiskey, and wine. Now, wine, you got to be careful. If they have sulfites in them, stay away from those wines. You want wines that have no sulfites. If it has sulfites, and sometimes they hide it, it's really small print. If it has sulfites, it is going to cause the headaches, the migraines. It will cause your tummy to have issues. Some people will get constipated or diarrhea or just gassy from it. So be careful with those. So those are on the FODMAP, and those are things that may help you if you're having gut issues. Let me talk about a few other things that might help. So there's this powder called Naked Gut, and it's just one little scoop of powder that you put in your coffee or put in your water. There's no taste. So it doesn't matter if you do water or coffee. It's not going to give you any flavor. That would be a good thing for you to do for the first, I would say 60 days to help cleanse all of the gooey, sticky stuff that's in your intestines and in your tummy. So here's the deal. Your gut gets all of these sticky, gooey, think taffy, think like sticky, gooey things that you can't really like gum on your shoe kind of like, right? But it's got this tacky, sticky, icky substance feel to it. And it's in your tummy. It's in the lining. It's in the gut, the large intestines, the small intestines. And it's just so gooey, nothing's passing through. And you're like, but I go to the bathroom every day. You have not cleaned out everything that's in there. And stuff just keeps getting stuck in there. So every time you eat, you feel really bloated. So the Naked Gut, it's natural. If you look at the ingredients, you'll see there's not a lot of ingredients. It's a very healthy version. I did it for 90 days because after COVID, I really struggled with my gut, holding on to everything I put in it. My digestive system was just shot. It was terrible. And I got COVID 6 times. So the Naked Gut, I did 90 days. I would suggest 30 days and see how you do. If you want to try 60 or 90 days, that's up to you. And maybe go back and try it, every few months or once a quarter, and do it for 30 days and see how you do. If you don't want to do low FODMAP, if you don't want to change the way you eat, but we're going to talk about that too. So another option is Vital Protein, and it is a canister you can get at Costco, Sam's. You can get it even from Amazon, and usually it's same day delivery. And the Vital Proteins Advanced is what I like to use. And it's like, it says it's a collagen booster, but I'm using it for a totally different reason. I'm using it for my gut cleansing and just kind of keeping my gut healthy. But it's also to add protein in my diet because I don't eat quite enough protein because of the way I'm eating, because I can only really have like chicken, lamb, steak, and burger is one of those don't do it too often type of things. So I got to be careful with that. If you're on a low FODMAP diet, you might want to consider doing some Vital Protein powder, and it's like a big scoop. Like it says 4 tablespoons, which is like 1 scoop, a big scoop. And it doesn't even put a plastic scoop in it because it's trying to avoid using plastics that can't be recycled. So you got to get your own measuring spoon. And what you do, just use it for every time you buy your Vital Proteins. I could tell a huge difference. Another option, and this is not just for FODMAP people who are sensitive to certain foods. This is for any woman, man, child. Mary Ruth's multivitamin. It's a liquid vitamin. Here's the deal. I hear people say, I'm on vitamins. I'm on all these vitamins, but they're pill form. If your gut is shot and just a mess, you're not going to absorb that pill the way you would liquid, because the liquid is going to absorb in your mouth, down your throat before it ever hits your gut. It's absorbed in your system. So liquid vitamin is your best bet. Mary Ruth's is the most, I would say, clean form without any chemical synthetic stuff. So I noticed a boost in energy when I do Mary Ruth's, and they also have an evening formula to help you sleep. And it does really help with women who are low in magnesium, manganese, vitamin D. So you have to have certain vitamins together for your body to absorb vitamin D. A lot of us work in an office all day. We don't get out in the sun that often. I have my window open, but I'm not really outside where I can really absorb good amounts of vitamin D. So that multivitamin that is a liquid is a really, really good thing. And I can tell you I went up to 150 pounds. I dropped back down to about 135. If I eat anything on the high FODMAP, I can gain up to 140 to 145 pounds easy over one weekend. So that was a big, big thing for me. Like, oh my God, I can gain 5 pounds in just a few days eating the wrong foods because my body will just hold them. My body will not process them well. So I don't want you to look at this as a diet, and I hate that they use the word diet. It's a lifestyle change. And y'all, this does not mean I don't drink. It doesn't mean I don't eat foods that are high FODMAP. It just means I don't eat them often. It means if I have it, I don't have a lot of it. I don't do well with potatoes. That's on the low FODMAP. I have to do the little red potatoes. The newt potatoes are the only potatoes I can eat. So I'll cut those and make homemade French fries, and I'll bake them in my oven with extra virgin olive oil, and I'll use a little bit of seasoning on them, like red pepper flakes and a little bit of cayenne pepper, because cayenne pepper is okay on the low FODMAP. And I leave off the garlic, but I'll use basil and oregano. So my homemade version of French fries are better than anything I'm going to eat somewhere else. So, there are great options to help you with this. And the low FODMAP, it really does give you all of these, like it gives you a whole week's worth of eating meals. smoothies for breakfast and things of that nature. What what really disappointed me was a lot of the fish meals. I'm allergic to seafood, like deadly allergic to iodine. So I can't have any fish of any kind. And so all of those meals, I have to do something to replace it because I can't have seafood, which means I do have to really be making sure I'm getting omega-3 fatty acids in other forms. So my liquid vitamins, I got to make sure I have a really good version of that, because I'm missing anything that the seafood would give my body. So I have to make sure I supplement it well with a good liquid multivitamin. Um, I also noticed several vegetables that I can't have, peanut butter that I can't have, almond that I can't have. So you're going to go through this book and you're going to see things you cannot have, but you can substitute. And so I want you to work on really getting mindful. We're sitting and scrolling on Instagram, and we're scrolling through Facebook, and we're scrolling through YouTube. We're scrolling through Netflix and Hulu, and we're really miserable physically and mentally. And I really want to challenge everybody. How about scrolling through a FODMAP book? How about scrolling through some health stuff? Because if you do little changes at a time, it doesn't feel so outrageous. So even though my channel is mental health oriented, I want to explain this. Your food intake affects your mental health. Sugar, heavy carbs will give you brain fog. If you're eating the wrong foods, brain fog is going to get you every time. Really work on eating healthier for your mental health. You want to feel better, that's how you do it. Y'all, follow me on Facebook, Amy Horn. It's in parentheses, Stewart, Stewart. That's my personal page if you want to follow me there. My business page is Coping with Life Therapy. My website is copingwithlifetherapy.com. I have all kinds of wonderful information. And if you want a mental health appointment, you can set an appointment with me or any of my colleagues who are really well informed and educated. All of my therapists are seasoned. I have an intern, although she's still not fully licensed. She is very well educated and she's been working under me. So she's another fantastic option for those of you who may not have insurance. So let me know your comments and what you think about the video, and give me feedback. I want to hear what you guys want to learn about, and I want to educate you on how your foods affect your mental health, how you can take control of your medical health without a medical doctor and prescription drugs. There are ways you can get better. Don't dump your medications before you do your research, please. Some situations require medication no matter what. And until you get it under control, you don't want to get rid of the medications you've been prescribed. If y'all have any questions, feel free to write, comment, email. It doesn't matter. However you want to reach out, please reach out. Until next time, go be awesome.